And you go to Washington, you find the good ideas, you take your good ideas, and you find what the best solution is going to be. There are some good things in the Affordable Care Act. There are a few good pages.
What are they?
Pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
I mean, my wife's a cancer survivor. I think pre-existing conditions have to be a must, not just because of my wife, but because of it's the right thing to do. It's common sense.
What else?
Keeping people on till the age of 26 on their parents' plan. The key to getting them off their parents' plan is growing our economy so they can get a job.
Right.
Okay? That's what we lose sight of here. The Affordable Care Act hasn't created the jobs that we were promised that it was going to create, except maybe for $881 million that's being spent to hire new IRS agents that are going to actually police the enforcement measures of the tax issues within the Affordable Care Act. And I also believe we have to get rid of lifetime caps, and we do that by expanding the base with our health care plan. And I urge everybody to go take a look at it at electrodney.com. Allowing insurance to be sold across state lines, allowing employers, employees, individuals, sole proprietors to go out onto the open market nationwide and be able to pick a plan that's going to best serve them and their family and do what is paramount. Keep the doctor-patient relationship first.
To get back to the caller's point about advertisements, what does it say to you that the sitting congressman, retiring Congressman Tim Johnson, is admonishing both your campaign and the Gill campaign for the way you have advertised, or the way that the DCCC and RCCC on your behalf have advertised?
Well, Tim and I have chatted, and Tim, deserves our thanks for 44 years of public service provided the Champaign-Urbana area, and I have the utmost respect for Tim. And Tim's got his opinions. I am, you look at what Tim said, and in many cases, I don't think people are used to in this area a truly targeted race. And if you look back to the nomination process, I said from day one that this seat was a target on Nancy Pelosi's pathway to return to power. It's on Pelosi and Boehner's chessboard. And sometimes, candidates feel like pawns on that chessboard, and that's where it's a failure of campaign finance reform laws that have given us this system where we have no control as candidates over what is put out there by these independent expenditure groups. And those are things that I want to address in Washington. I see the impact. I would love to control all of the messaging that we have on our campaign, because there are many times, like your previous caller, we get unfairly lumped in to what's being said. If you look at our ad that's going on right now that talks about healthcare policy, healthcare isn't just politics. It's personal for me. And those are the types of ads that we've run outside of defending ourselves from the attacks. Unfortunately, Mr. Gill has just put out a recent radio ad that he's already insulted civil servants, people who do a great job in public service, with ads previously criticizing my time as a public servant. And now he criticizes people who work in the fast food industry, basically ridiculing them. And I'd urge everybody to take a listen to it, because that's the type of campaigning that I don't like to see either.
Well, okay, but it does come across perhaps as somewhat disingenuous. The question I asked was, what does it say to you that Congressman Johnson is admonishing both of your campaigns, and in the process of your answer, you ultimately attacked your opponent for his ads and didn't really talk about your own at all. And I mean, it comes across perhaps to some that you're using this as an opportunity to beat up your opponent, and that's exactly at the crux of what I think a lot of people are upset about, is the tenor of the campaign.
Well, the tenor that we can set as candidates, I think if you break through the noise that's out there, the tenor being set by others that we have no control over, I think you'll see a race that's based on issues, and we're talking about the issues. We have said all along, we're going to focus on the issues and the differences between David Gill and me. He has said it right here in Champaign on the radio numerous times. He's going to focus on the issues that separate us. And that's a good, hearty debate and discussion. Unfortunately, the outside groups have thrown so many ads and so many messages in that we all get muddled together. And I hope the voters can see. I hope the voters can muddle through it and see who's going to represent their views, their ideas, and their Midwestern values the most.
Okay. It's another opportunity to ask the candidate on today's Focus. Our guest is Rodney